parents, children, elderly. Today we are going on a tour of the wonder that is the neuron. It makes up a key part of the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. I'm your tour guide, Mr. Kaplan, and we're going to use advanced 3D computer animations to show you the individual parts that make up a neuron and an actual neural impulse that allows the processes of thought.
Here you can see a classic neuron, complete with an attached oligodendrocyte, which you can see flashing here. Towards the left of the animation, you can observe thin branches flashing as well. These are known as dendrites. Dendrites receive neural transmitters from other neurons and turn them into a neural impulse that travels all the way down the neuron. The first step for this neural impulse after it is spawned in a dendrite is to travel across the soma, seen flashing here. Cell-wise, the soma is quite important as it contains a nucleus which is responsible for the general upkeep and the health of the cell. The nucleus can be seen here flashing in the center of the soma. After the soma, the neural impulse will travel across a long thin part of the neuron called an axon, seen flashing here. Speed of the neural impulse is important, as well as preventing it from crossing over to any other neurons. To prevent this, most neurons have a covering around the axon called a myelin sheath, which acts as an insulator. The myelin can be seen flashing here. Also seen flashing is the aforementioned oligodendrocyte, which takes on the role of creating this ever-important myelin. These oligodendrocytes only exist in neurons within the central nervous system, but there exists a cell within the peripheral nervous system that does a similar job to the oligodendrocyte. This is known as the Schwann cell. Past the oligodendrocyte, myelin, and axon are the axon terminals. From here, a neural impulse will split up across each terminal and approach the end of each terminal where neurotransmitters are stored in the terminal buttons. When activated by a neural impulse, a terminal button will release these neurotransmitters and begin the process again in another cell. With all these different parts of a neuron working together, this is what a transmission across a neuron looks like. First, the neural impulse is spawned in a dendrite. It then travels up the branches of the dendrites towards the soma, across the soma, and then onto the axon, where progress is sped up and the impulse contained by the myelin sheath. From here, the impulse splits across the axon terminals, where it inspires the release of neurotransmitters from each terminal button. This wonderful process is the mechanism behind your decisions, actions, and emotions, and it is key to your survival as a human being.